I see you found your way to the aqueduct. If you follow it to the north, you'll come to a warehouse used for transporting supplies. Pass through the warehouse, and you'll come out into a forest. The lab where Sokolov is being held is directly to the north of that forest, so head north.
Snake, that area should be inhabited by tree frogs. The tree frog is a green frog that's found throughout Asia. It's arboreal, spending most of its time in shrubs and bushes. Use the tranquilizer gun to catch one alive. I bet you could scare an enemy good if you toss one at him. But the tree frogs that live in that jungle are a lot bigger than ordinary tree frogs.
They've got an appetite, huh?
You've got a one-track mind, don't you? But seriously, that is one theory. However, there are people who think it's a mutation caused by nuclear testing and waste from the research facility.
Do you think they're safe to eat?
Is that all you ever think about?
What else is there?
Lots.
Like what?
Like why a frog would get so big in the first place. Whether it's a temporary phenomenon created by a unique environment, or a permanent mark of evolution, or a product of the toxic waste coming out of the research facility. If it is the waste that's causing it, then it means humans are interfering with the ecosystem. It really makes you think about the changing relationship between...
This isn't interesting.
Oh, fine. Be that way.
So, how about it?
You mean, is it edible?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's probably okay.
Probably.
I don't know. The guide doesn't say anything.
Pretty useless guide, if you ask me.
Well, try one for dinner and you can help improve it.
You say they have flying platforms out there? Flying platforms are a type of personal VTOL aircraft.
They were working on those in America, too, weren't they?
Yeah, back in the 50s. They were supposedly going to be used for scouting and patrol missions, as well as to spot for artillery units and transport troops into rough territory. They even got an initial prototype off the ground in 1955. But the thing wasn't fast enough, and there were problems with getting it to stop and turn in midair, so they ended up scrapping the project. The ones you see there were built by the Soviets after they got their hands on the American design plans. The American model used a pair of contra-rotating rotors to generate lift, but those Soviet models seem to be using jet engines instead. They must have kept going with their research after the US abandoned its own project. Now they've finally overtaken us. You gotta give them credit for sticking with it. If you get spotted by an enemy riding a flying platform, they'll go into alert phase. The flying platforms themselves don't seem to be armed, but the pilots are carrying Scorpion submachine guns and grenades. The recoil on the Scorpion is low enough so that they should be able to fire one-handed in full auto mode. That gives them some serious firepower.
We're being attacked. Enemy position unknown. Going into high alert.
Acknowledged. Keep your eyes open.
I see you've caught yourself an arowana. The arowana is an ancient fish that lives in tropical freshwater areas. Because of its large size, I don't think you'll be able to capture one alive. Ancient fish like the arowana are living fossils. They've hardly changed their form since the Devonian and Jurassic periods. Other ancient fish besides the arowana include the coelacanth, the starlet, and the knifefish. Almost all organisms on Earth have evolved in various shapes and forms, but these fish have kept the same form for hundreds of millions of years. Baffling, isn't it?
Sure.
Well, I can see you're not interested.
Not at all. I'm fascinated by ancient fish.
Why?
They're supposed to be huge, aren't they?
You're wondering whether they'd make a good meal.
Yeah. So, do they?
The guide says they taste just fine for a fish.
Great.
I see you've caught yourself a big-eyed trevally. The big-eyed trevally is a type of mackerel. The adult fish lives around coral reefs, but the young can be found in freshwater areas such as estuaries and rivers.
Good to know. So, how do they taste?
The guidebook doesn't say.
Huh. Well, if they're a kind of mackerel, they should be okay to eat, right?
You'd think so, but...
But what?
Well, I've heard stories about people getting ciguatera poisoning after eating the adult fish.
Ciguatera poisoning?
Uh-huh. Fishes that live near coral reefs are sometimes contaminated with a poison known as ciguatera toxin. It apparently gives you food poisoning when you eat it.
So I can't eat those big-eyed trevally?
I don't know whether those trevally are contaminated with ciguatera or not, but use caution just in case. Snake, that area is inhabited by magpies. Magpies are members of the crow family. They're distinguishable by their beautiful dark blue and white bodies and their long tails. Their favorite food is insects, but they'll also eat small fish, acorns, and fruit. They're omnivores, which means...
They'll eat anything.
Right, just like you, huh? If you use the tranquilizer gun, you should be able to capture magpies alive.
Okay. So how do they taste?
You always ask me that.
Naturally. So,
I've never heard of anybody actually eating a magpie, but I suppose there's no reason you couldn't.
you don't say.
Oh.
Get your hands off me. I'm not going anywhere.
Really now? How many times must I tell you?
Tanya!
Each time you resist, your lover will suffer the consequences. Is that clear?
Vulcan. Damn you!
Hold it right there, traitor. Let's find out just how lucky you are. Watch closely. One of these 3 guns has a single bullet in it. I'm going to pull the trigger 6 times in a row. Are you ready? Looks like your luck hasn't run out yet.
There's no such thing as luck on the battlefield. You'd better stay in line from now on. The Cobras will take care of him.
Has the CIA dog been disposed of yet?
The pain is dead.
What? He may be a child, but he's definitely one of yours. I fear Khrushchev may have a hand in this. We have no time to lose. You must eliminate him before the final test.
Don't worry. They'll be able to handle it. I'm leaving him to you, the field.
The old man is always sleeping. Is he all right?
The end is saving what life he has left in him for battle. Normally, he's dead. But he'll wake up when the time is right. And when he does, it will be the end for the boy.
Nah. Sokolov isn't worth your love. You can entertain me until the rain stops. Kuwabara, Kuwabara.
Desaro, is that you?
Major, Sokolov's been hauled off.
Yes, they probably caught him trying to escape from the lab. Didn't Volgin say that they still needed to perform the final test?
Yeah.
Then Sokolov must have been taken back to the lab. Get to the lab and get Sokolov the hell out of there. Pass through that warehouse and you'll come out south of the lab. Make your way inside the warehouse. Watch out for enemy sentries.
Snake, be careful. That area is supposed to be inhabited by cobalt blue tarantulas. The cobalt blue tarantula is a poisonous spider with a highly potent venom. If you get bitten, go into the survival viewer immediately and use Cure to administer a serum injection.
Wearing the water pattern, are we? The water pattern was used a lot by the old German Defense Force. Even though it's called the water pattern, it wasn't designed specifically to blend in underwater. They only gave it that name because the pattern resembles the waves on the surface of a pool of water. But still, it really does look like it could be confused for liquid waves. It might conceal you underwater.
Do you want to save? Snake, have you ever seen the Guns of Navarone?
Never.
It's about a mission to blow up the huge guns on the island of Navarone during World War II. 6 men are chosen to participate in the operation, each with his own special ability. They only have until an English destroyer passes by the island to complete their mission. Facing impossible odds, the 6 men have to sneak onto the island from a cliff on the southern shore.
That doesn't sound like something I'd want to watch in my free time.
Maybe not for you, but the Major was absolutely crazy about it.
The Major?
He told me to tell you how great it was.
Tell him I'll go see it as soon as I get back to the States.
Do you want to tell him yourself?
No, let's save that for later. I'd better get back to the mission.
Yeah.
Major.
Snake, whatever happens to you, make sure you leave a descendant, okay?
Are you saying you want to have my baby?
No. I'm saying that in the 21st century, the genes of soldiers like you are going to be in high demand.
Genes?
Uh-huh. Remember when Watson and Crick discovered the double helix structure of DNA back in 1953?
No.
You know, they won the Nobel Prize in Medicine for it the year before last. Of course, you have to feel sorry for Pauling and Franklin. They were researching the exact same thing.
Sorry, I don't follow.
Inside every living creature are little blueprints called genes. Through the union of the sperm and egg cells, these blueprints are transformed and inherited by the next generation. That's why parents and children resemble each other. The concept of genes was first proposed over 100 years ago by Mendel, but he didn't know what they were exactly. For a while, it was thought that chromosomes were composed not of deoxyribonucleic acid, but of proteins called polypeptides. Later, it was shown that deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA, was a biological macromolecule. Then 11 years ago, Watson and Crick discovered that DNA had a double helix structure.
Yeah, this is all fascinating stuff, but what exactly does it have to do with me?
The inherent characteristics of any given individual are determined by his or her genes. By duplicating a set of superior genes, a separate body with the same set of characteristics, a clone can be created.
But genes don't control a person's fate.
That's true, but having an offspring that's genetically identical to the parent is more efficient, right? You can expect better results that way.
More efficient? You can't mass produce human beings.
Maybe, but now that we know the true nature of genes, human cloning is that much closer to reality. Nuclear transplanting is already theoretically possible, so one day...
My genes are going to be a valuable commodity.
Exactly.
They'd never let that happen.
Just think, even if your body dies, you survive and go on to bigger and better accomplishments. If you think about it, it's kind of an honor.
Does that kind of technology seriously appeal to you?
Well, I am a doctor. I can't condone it on moral grounds, but I'm fascinated by the possibilities. Especially when I see such an excellent specimen as yourself.
Yeah, well, thanks for the compliment, but it doesn't make me feel any better.
Don't be so glum. It's not like it's going to happen anytime soon. We'll just have to wait and see.
Wearing
Good. You've infiltrated the warehouse. Pass through it and you'll come out south of the lab where Sokolov is being held. The exit should be on the north side of the top floor. Climb up the stairs and pass through the warehouse to the north.
Looks like you're in a building. If people are living there, there's bound to be people food.
People food?
Soviet military rations. It beats eating raw snakes and mushrooms all the time, doesn't it?
I'm getting to like raw snake and mushroom.
You really are turning into an animal.
Haha, so you're wearing the black camouflage. The black uniform isn't really camouflage. It was intended to have a psychological shock effect on enemies and hostage rescue operations and stuff like that. But it should also make you pretty hard to see if you wear it in a dark environment. And it might also work on black, earthy surfaces like you'd find in swamps.
You want to save? Hold on a sec. Hey Snake, have you seen 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
Nope, haven't seen that one.
After a number of battleships mysteriously sink at sea, the American government investigates and finds that the culprit is this pacifistic Captain Nemo. The scene where the giant squid attacks Captain Nemo's submarine, the Nautilus, is breathtaking. The movie was filmed in CinemaScope, and it was great to see it on the big screen.
A giant squid, huh?
What? Don't tell me you think it sounds tasty.
Answer me.
A little further ahead, the forest is deadly.
Speak.
By stalking, you can find trap indicators.
Speak.
Fire support request 148.56.
Speak.
Let me go!
This is Run.
Looks like you're wearing the splitter pattern camo. Splitter was used quite a bit in World War II on German aircraft and stuff. The pattern helped mask the plane's attitude and direction in dogfights. Even now, it's still being used as camouflage in some places. It works best when you wear it against a steel or stone background. Wearing black face paint, huh? Painting your face with black paint should give you a high rate of camouflage in dark areas.
Snake, the lab where Sokolov is being held is to the north of that forest. Keep on heading north.
You got some instant noodles, huh?
Instant noodles?
Uh-huh. It was invented in Japan just recently. Add some hot water and it's ready to eat. It's cheap and can be stored for a long time, and besides, it's delicious. It's like a miracle food.
Wow.
Speaking of which...
Yeah?
Are you going to eat that?
I was planning on it, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Is there some reason I shouldn't?
No, that's not what I meant.
Then what did you mean?
I was just going to say that if you weren't going to eat it, you should bring it back to me. I've always wanted to try some.
Whatever.
There seem to be traps planted throughout that area, and they look a little primitive.
Yeah, but this is their territory. Why would they need this many traps here?
Maybe it's part of some kind of tactical research.
Tactical research?
Yeah. As I'm sure you know, the Soviet Union is leading a worldwide revolution among communist forces all over the globe. But a lot of the countries involved don't have the necessary funds and industrial technology, so they need tactics that are both effective and economical.
That's what they're researching?
Yeah, and traps are one of the best ways to do that. I'll bet that place is one of their testing grounds. Clappers, arrows, pendulums, all of these traps are set off by applying force to a rope. Don't touch the ropes and you'll be fine. Use rolling to get over them, or just crawl under them. Either way ought to work. If you do set off a trap and an arrow or a spiked pendulum comes flying your way, you can still dodge it by immediately diving out of the way. Pit traps and snares are camouflaged into the ground to make them harder to detect. But if you look carefully enough, you can see them through the disguise. Try stalking to proceed with extra caution. In any case, if you think there might be traps lying around, keep a close eye on the ground and stay alert.
Do you want to save? Snake, have you ever seen The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms?
Nope.
It's about this monster that comes to life from deep within a glacier as a result of an H-bomb test in the Arctic. It crosses the ocean and emerges in New York. I especially like the scene where the monster attacks the lighthouse, and the one where it pops out of a valley in Manhattan and makes a big hole in a building. And the last scene on the burning roller coaster was simply incredible. And because I saw it in a drive-in theater, I actually felt like I was a part of the movie. It's funny, isn't it? How you can let yourself get absorbed into these things without thinking even when you know it's not real?
Distinguishing between what's real and what's not isn't always as simple as we think.
Well, don't get too absorbed in your mission. It's important to take a rest every now and then. I see you've caught a European rabbit. The European rabbit is said to have come from the Mediterranean region originally, but nowadays they're found all over the world. They've been used since ancient times as a source of food, so it might be worth catching them. Rabbits are known to eat their own excrement.
They eat their own...
That's right. It's called cecal feces. When the rabbit eats fiber, the fiber is fermented in the rabbit's appendix, or cecum, and turned into a nutritious substance full of vitamins. The rabbit excretes this substance and then eats it again to absorb the nutrients.
That's a neat trick. I think I'll give it a try.
Snake, rabbits and humans don't work the...
I'm just kidding. You really thought I was going to eat it?
A little, yeah.
Even I wouldn't do that.
I guess not.
But how did those seagull feces taste?
What?
I'm just kidding.
Oh...
Pit traps and snares are camouflaged into the ground to make them harder to detect. But if you look carefully enough, you can see them through the disguise. Try stalking to proceed with extra caution. In any case, if you think there might be traps lying around, keep a close eye on the ground and stay alert.
Snake, watch out. It seems that forest is rigged with a number of traps.
Yeah, I noticed.
Most of the traps seem to be triggered by tripping a rope stretched across the ground. Don't just run around like a fool. Keep an eye on the ground and watch where you step. Some ropes may be placed so they're hidden in the vegetation. Be extra careful when you're cutting through the underbrush. If you use the D-pad to move around stalking, you should be able to spot the traps before you step on them. Use stalking to move safely through suspicious-looking areas. Sokolov is inside the lab. Look for a way in and use it to infiltrate the lab.
That area is inhabited by the milk snake. The milk snake closely resembles the coral snake, but it's actually not venomous. Even so, you'll still take damage if it bites you, so don't get too close.
So is there a way to tell the difference between a milk snake and a coral snake?
It's pretty difficult. They really do look almost exactly alike. I guess if I had to pick something, I'd say it's that the milk snake is much less aggressive.
Okay.
Ah, I just thought of a better way. You're going to love this.
What?
Eat it.
Eat it?
Yeah. The guide says milk snakes don't taste very good.
Yeah, I know. But if I've already caught and eaten it, what does it matter which kind of snake it was?
It doesn't, does it? Shoot, I thought I had a good idea.
I heard you fought against KGB troops in the Virtuous mission. But this time you're up against Spetsnaz. Spetsnaz is the Special Forces unit of GRU, the intelligence wing of the Soviet Defense Ministry's General Staff Office. Spetsnaz troops undergo rigorous training in all types of special ops, from assassination and demolition to intelligence gathering. That and Volgan's loaded, man. His unit is one of the best equipped in the entire Soviet Union, if not the best. I heard the enemies you encountered in the Virtuous mission were only carrying weapons like AKs and grenades. Well, it ain't that simple anymore. In addition to AKs, some of the patrols you'll encounter might be equipped with Scorpion submachine guns and shotguns. The Scorpion is even lighter than the AK, making it much easier to handle. Basically, a guy with a Scorpion is not gonna miss you as often as with an AK. The shotgun is a powerful weapon. One blast is enough to floor you and you're likely to be seriously wounded. Watch for that, man.
You want to save? Hold on a sec. Snake, have you seen The Magnificent Seven?
Sorry.
It's a remake of the Japanese classic The Seven Samurai, only in a Western setting. This tiny Mexican village is attacked every year by bandits. Finally, the village elder can't stand it any longer and decides to hire someone to protect the village. 7 gunmen respond to the call. They teach the villagers how to shoot and prepare for the oncoming attack. But then, the enemy shows up at the village with a huge band.
Then what happens?
You'll just have to see it for yourself. I don't want to spoil it.
Oh.
Movies are only fun when you actually watch them. There's something you have to experience for yourself.